All right, we got to check out more Black Ops 7 updates. You know what I mean? We're keeping up with it. It's now officially 2 weeks away. It's November 1st, so we're getting close, chat. We're getting close. November 14th is when it drops. I'll be playing November 13th on stream because I'm gonna go fly to New Zealand to play it. This video will be in the top link of the description as well. Go support the original content. This is Black Ops 7 early access download. File sizes and free copies. WDK Dynamite. Let's see the news. Let's continue with the news. I need to consume product.
Happy Halloween, everybody. This is
Give me the
Dynamite.
news!
We're going to be talking about what could be a very good preload for Black Ops 7, which may come with some consequences, but inevitably this started up a brand new conversation about early access, which I wanted to focus on here in this commentary. Hopefully you guys had a very safe and exciting evening with all of your families. Let me know
I forgot again that yesterday is Halloween.
dressed up as down below in the comments, but yesterday was pretty crazy.
A homeless guy in his parents' fucking attic. I'm not even in an attic, but
I first made a video talking about the cancellation of
AKA
Carry
just
Forward
me.
for the Reznov Challenge Pack. Then a follow-up video going over the brand new Prestige Rewards and a bunch of other teasers regarding progression.
Where are you from? The US of A.
UI, which were covered in a recent
AKA
Treyarch Dev Talk. With that being said, just about a day ago,
United States
it looks
of
like Insider
Ass.
The Ghost of Hope did report on a potential server update, which is something that is also coming out of left field, as did the confirmation from Treyarch that they're going to be allowing for persistent lobbies and matchmaking where skill is minimally considered. They're going to be adjusting aim assist. So,
bro, I pray to God that leak about them getting new servers is true and it's a higher tick rate. I said it the other day, but genuinely imagine Call of Duty on 128 tick. Oh, I don't think people understand who haven't played games like Counter-Strike or, well, I guess, Face It on Counter-Strike or Valorant. Higher tick rate servers feel unbelievable.
I guess throw server updates onto that list as well, which does officially make Black Ops 7 one of the craziest Call of Duties ever, as far as things they're actually addressing and changing.
Bro, if they have a good anti-cheat and they up the tick rate of the servers, it's literally like it's the best Call of Duty of all time. It might actually be the best Call of Duty of all time. It might actually be.
Which
only time will tell with
this
shit, right? You can never tell when Call of Duty. You kind of got to look at it in retrospect to be able to say, you know.
So Hope is reporting that Black Ops 7 will be fully migrated to the Microsoft Azure servers with its global launch on November the 14th. Allegedly, the beta itself did use some of those servers, but it wasn't throughout the entire beta. And this honestly
that doesn't sound right,
makes sense considering Microsoft now owns Call of Duty, and instead of paying to rent other people's servers, they can just use their own in-house. Now, will this mean a dramatic improvement to your connection?
Actually, I don't know. I feel like it didn't feel that bad in Black Ops 7. I won't even lie to you.
Playing Call of Duty, we could certainly hope so. And it's also a question of what games will now be on these servers. Will it just be Black Ops 7 and Warzone, any other title going forward? I think servers have definitely been an interesting conversation for the last couple of years, since they never really addressed them in a blog post. They never really committed to upgrading the servers. Or
I know shit, they were ass too.
Dramatic. So we'll have to wait and see how this is going to impact the full launch of Black Ops.
We will have to wait to see if people actually testing it to see if it's better.
I also want to let you guys know that Call of Duty seems to be giving away some free Vault Edition codes, at least for Xbox. It's unclear if they're going to give away codes for other platforms later, but as you can see with this post earlier today themed around the Replacer, if you zoom into the barcode, there's a code there for a Vault Edition of Black Ops 7. So make sure you guys do stay on the lookout whenever Call of Duty does post something on Instagram, Threads, Twitter, wherever it may be, because there could be some...
They're just posting codes to get the game? What the fuck?
Before somebody out there quickly does. I also plan on announcing some other Vault Edition giveaways I'll be doing for Battle.net, even PlayStation. I'll be sharing more details on that as we get closer to the full launch of Black Ops 7. Now, before we continue, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, FlexiSpot, who are kind enough to send me their C9 ergonomic chair, which could look great in anyone's office, but especially for a content creator like myself, I'm going to be putting in so many hours into the launch of BO7 that being as comfortable as can
Yeah, bro, dude, chat, I'm going to be streaming the fuck out of it. I want you to understand.
Is an absolute
I'm so excited.
But this chair honestly had the easiest assembly I've ever seen from any piece of furniture that I built. It was really quick to put together.
Hit the stretch
And
with
as
me,
you can see,
chat.
you
Hit
have
the
a
stretch.
footrest, rotating arms, extra cushion, and a lot being offered here for its mesh design, which is hard to come across for a competitive price. But if you're ready to check out some of
Why'd that F look like the Fortnite logo?
amazing furniture that
What the
FlexiSpot have to
fuck?
offer, then check out the link down below in this video's description or the pinned comment. And thank you to FlexiSpot for sponsoring today's
The chair
video.
actually does look kind of nice.
But now let's jump into the full launch and preload
I
of
won't
Black
even lie.
Ops 7. What I want to start with is talking about the New Zealand trick, because this is something that I think is
No, I'm going to New Zealand.
pretty common knowledge now. It's very public. It's not some big secret or anything. And I've talked about this publicly on stream several times.
I'm not
Doesn't look
doing the
like
New
Activision
Zealand trick. I'm going to New
really
Zealand.
cares
Get
about
it
this
right.
either, since they often make jokes about everybody flying to New Zealand
Yeah.
a good day before the
Exactly.
new Call of Duty releases. So here's how this
No,
works.
it's not a joke. I'm actually flying to New Zealand, chat.
I'm currently living in the Central Time Zone. You guys might be Pacific or even Eastern. The cool thing is, New Zealand time is roughly 19 hours ahead of United States time. Give or take a few hours depending on if you live in the Pacific Time Zone, Central, Mountain, even Eastern. It's different for everybody, but still
Thanks.
a pretty big gap compared to the US time zones. Which means, because it'll be November 14th sooner in New Zealand than it will be in North America, that means the game itself releases early in New Zealand and other regions nearby.
Facts.
So because physical copies are being distributed and digital copies are being downloaded of the new Call of Duty many hours before other places in the world, that then means that if you were to use a New Zealand account and you live in America, let's say, you're able to then
No.
play the new Call of Duty
I'm
early.
going to New Zealand.
There could still be an embargo of when you're allowed to actually stream content. They'll probably announce that at some point later. But typically the embargo to actually cover the new Call of Duty is whenever New Zealand officially gets access to the game. It'll be the first region to get access to the game. So if you're somebody on a
It is every year, which is why I'm flying.
PlayStation, Xbox, or someone on PC through
Which is
Game
why I'm
Pass,
flying to New
there's a
Zealand.
trick
I won't
that
just
people have
have my
been
line.
doing
I'm gonna
for
keep doing it.
years now, allowing you to play when the New Zealand copy goes live. So if you're on PlayStation, you aren't able to actually change your region to New Zealand. That's just not something that Sony allows you to do. But if you go to your Activision profile on the Activision website and you change your address and your region to New Zealand, for whatever reason, if your PSN is linked to that Activision profile, it tricks your PlayStation into unlocking the data packs when New Zealand's copies go live. So even if you've pre-ordered on an American or a European account, you can still play the game early when New Zealand gets access, so long as you've updated your Activision ID. If you're on an Xbox, whether it's the
bussing.
Series X or S, even an Xbox One, or if you're on Game Pass through a PC, all you simply have to do is just change your region on your Xbox profile, and it'll let you right in when the New Zealand copy does go live. No need to actually change your Activision profile if you're on those platforms. But as of right now, that's the only early access method for Black Ops 7, unless something changes. In that case, I'll make a follow-up video or short talking more about that. PlayStation Size on Twitter just this evening did go ahead and report the following. Of course, subject to change. He found the PS4 preload for Black Ops 7, which has now been added to the database. He's reporting the multiplayer pack as of now is about 11.6 gigs. The Zombies pack was 320 megabytes. That can't be right. And the co-op campaign pack was about 11.9 gigs.
Yeah, that 320 megabytes of the Zombies pack does not sound right.
Of course, it doesn't account for the big COD HQ update that everybody's gonna have to download, which could be upwards of like 50 to 100 gigs, depending on your region and console.
Please, 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 I don't want to do it.
But he's also claiming that November 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific, that'll be the moment when you can preload Black Ops 7, at least on PS4, which we could assume will also apply to at least the PS5.
I became
He followed up
friends
at
with the
bottom of his
mutant
tweet by
gummy
saying
worm.
that he doesn't have the exact info on the PS5 download just yet, but once he does, we'll end up posting that separately on his Twitter.
Bro, how the fuck is BO7 even gonna run on the PS4? What? Dude, if you have a PS4, how? There's no way. That shit's gotta be ass.
Even sooner. But the weirdest part about this post is that it says release time, campaign and zombies November 10th, 10 a.m. Pacific, whereas multiplayer will be November 17th at 10 a.m. Pacific.
Wait, what?
So
Hold up.
Pacific says release time, campaign and zombies November 10th, 10 a.m. Pacific, whereas multiplayer will be November 17th at 10 a.m. Pacific.
What?
So just to make things clear, at least from how this tweet is structured, obviously there's some incorrect file sizes
very
there. It doesn't account
confused.
for the entire full file size breakdown that we're going to have for Black Ops 7. Activision will end up publishing the full file size and PC requirements probably in the next week and a half or whatnot, maybe even sooner. But I do believe the preload could actually start November the 9th, at least for PlayStation, probably a day or two later at the very latest for
Yeah,
Battle.net
PC.
and Xbox. Steam will also get the preload. But a big takeaway from this tweet is that, hey, Campaign and Zombies are going to release early November the 10th, and then multiplayer will go live on the 17th, which makes absolutely no sense because as Treyarch and Call of Duty have been tweeting for at least the last week and a half, they're continuously emphasizing that the full release date of BO7 is November the 14th, no earlier and no later than that. Of course, it's technically the 13th of November if you're doing the New Zealand trick while you live in the United States, for example.
No, I'm flying to New Zealand.
A bunch of placeholder information that was left on last-gen platforms. Maybe at one moment in time, there was a plan to actually do early access, and those plans have since changed, yet last gen is still reflecting on what could have been the original plan for early access. And even if
I don't know why they stopped doing the campaign early access thing. I feel like that was a really good
campaign
idea.
And Zombies early access started on the 10th, which would be fantastic. It still doesn't explain why, for whatever reason, multiplayer doesn't drop till the 17th. Even though the game releases on the 14th, so that already puts this entire thing on its head. It just doesn't really make much sense. But I do believe there is some legitimacy with when the preload is meant to drop for every platform, really. Because as we've seen time and time again with every brand new Call of Duty, the preload should pop up a good 3 to 5 days before the game is officially out, giving everybody time, even with slow internet, to get that preload installed before the game is meant to officially drop. Now, something I am worried about, though, which I don't think is going to happen this time, I'm sure they figured out what the issue was with Black Ops 6, is that if the preload is just sitting there on last-gen platforms, can somebody out there on a jailbroken PlayStation hop in, break through everything, spoil the whole campaign, spoil zombies, ruin a bunch of secrets and surprises? Could that happen again for BO?
Bro, remember when BO6's multiplayer got leaked? Like actual hours of gameplay got leaked all over the internet. Oh my god! I don't know if anybody remembers that when lead up to Black Ops 6. Like multiple months before we saw any gameplay.
I think the chances do go up by the day, but you just gotta hope the usual leakers and data miners in the community can kind of raise a white flag and say, hey, we're just not gonna spoil the entire game just a couple of days before it's meant to actually come out. But when you think about it, this could also be the last Call of Duty available on last gen, unless somebody figures out how to jailbreak a PS5 and a Series X next year. I think the issue with last gen leaking the entire new Call of Duty could probably just end up dying once last gen support gets cut off, presumably with the end of BO7. Now, something that's likely
it shouldn't even be. They're doing it because there's a lot of players on old consoles.
A full achievement list for BO7, which sometimes could contain some spoilers, especially for zombies. So I'll be safely covering whatever I can whenever that information does pop up. Now, if you've been around for a while, then you know that...
Actually, I take back what I just said. Continue to give him old-gen consoles so I can stomp them into the ground for content.
For leaks pop up on Twitter or through an article, it's free game to cover. Do a commentary, at least. I likely won't show whatever is leaked, but when it comes to spoilers about Easter egg steps or the storyline in Zombies, that's stuff that I typically stay away from, because that's, of course, completely different from a weapon list or some trophies or little bits of harmless information that can honestly hype the community. But either way, that is about it. This has been DK Dynamite. Leave all your thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on this report about a very early preload for BO7 on November the 9th? Again, none of this is verified, but PlayStation Size does report pretty often on whenever a brand new title update does get added to the database. And the file size is usually an estimate. The release window is also an estimate. But still good info to think about, which I know has kind of sparked another unnecessary conversation about early access, which I feel like has already been debunked. But hey, people are still going to talk about it. So I guess that's good for the interest and popularity of the upcoming COD.
True.
With that being said, really hope you've enjoyed.
I'm just excited, bro.
Out, everybody.
I just want this game right fucking now. I swear to God. I swear to God, chat. The original video being the top link in the description. You better subscribe right this second. I swear to God to DK Dynamite. Yeah.